Today I'm joined by Jakub Jaworski. Jakub is Olympian 2010 in Vancouver, representing Poland in short track speed skating. Biggest achievements next to the Olympic participation: 11th at the World Championships in 2013 and 6th at the Junior World Championships in 2006. Jakub has moved on after his career into strength and conditioning, fellow S&C coach. And his biggest achievements include a bronze medalist at the Olympic Games and a European champion. Welcome, Jakub.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Jakub, when did you retire actually? You look so young.
Oh, thanks. That's mostly genetics, but I retired when I was 28 years old. Now I'm almost 33. And actually, now when I look from this moment, I don't know why I finished. I think that at the moment I felt like I'm already burned. I tried many things, and the situation was in our team was that I didn't qualify individually for the Olympics in Sochi. I also didn't. We also didn't qualify for the Olympics as a relay team. So. I put my wages on European Championships that were after qualifiers, but I said to myself, okay, I'll see how it goes to Europeans, but they were really bad, and I thought, okay, this is it. We're gonna finish this beautiful adventure.
Okay, and in 2010 you were the only participant you were the only Polish in short track speed skating. Is that correct?
Male skater, yes. I was there also with my girlfriend back then and also now, Patrycja Maliszewska, and also with Paula Bzura. There were 3 people from Poland in short track that went to Vancouver.
Okay, cool. And then in your life as an athlete, what was your darkest moment?
Actually, when I was an athlete, there were not many darkest moments from the position I'm looking at now, which is after retiring. What I found the darkest moment that is connected with my career was that time after retiring. At the end of my career, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm in the age that I should start thinking what I will do after ending, but I couldn't imagine anything. I didn't have a plan for myself. I couldn't live with the thought that I won't be able to compete on the highest level in a discipline that I really, really love and I had been doing for almost 20 years. So the darkest moment is actually the time after and accepting the fact that it's all in the past, that I will be never able to skate again on a competitive level with the best skaters in the world. Probably those were the last World Cups, European Championships or World Championships, or even Polish Championships that I will be competing in at a really good level. So the darkest moments were the ones when I finished the career.
How long did that last?
It's been now 6 years, and I think it still lasts. It's I don't think it will ever go away. You know, for me, short track was really, really a big part of my life. I started young when I was 8 and I finished when I was 20. So you can say 20 years of something, whatever it is, it's a long time. And I remember, short track speed skating and competing and skating against and racing against other guys was the best part of my life. So I think I don't want to say that the darkest moments are still right now, but the worst aspect of it, which is having to accept the fact that it's gone and it's gone forever. Even I tried to stay in the discipline by doing strength and conditioning and keeping in touch with the skaters. It still won't be the same. So I think, 6 years and it's still going. I know some other skaters who finished before or after me are in the same. Maybe we are all different, so that you cannot say that we're in the same position, but. There are many athletes who deal with retiring for a long, long time.
Yeah, I asked that question to Mark Teutert, who was also at the Vancouver Olympics in long track speed skating, and I asked him what is more difficult, the post-Olympic year or retiring? And he also said retiring is really, really difficult. So
Yes,
you're not alone with that. So even an
yeah,
Olympic
I'm sure
champion like him
yeah.
struggled. So what strategies are you using to get over that?
Get busy doing your job. Fortunately, I found a passion that I was trying to, what I caught when I was still skating, which is strength and conditioning. When I was still a skater, I started going to some courses. I went internationally to meet with the guys that I thought were making sense in this business, to get, you know, education, and then try to, you know, find my way. I didn't back then. I didn't think it'll be my job. I thought I'll be skating and short track speed skating forever. That would be indefinite. But yeah, being busy and having a job and trying to focus, you know, on different aspects like business, like results of your clients. It's okay. It's okay. It helps to take your focus from what you don't have on what you would like to achieve. But recently I watched a really good podcast between Daniel Ricciardo, who is a F1 driver for Renault F1 team, and between Nick Rosberg, a former Formula One champion. Motorsports is one of my things that I think are a hobby of mine. And they were also talking. One of them is already retired. Nick Rosberg is retired. Daniel Ricciardo is still driving. And they said that there is no business, a deal that can be made, no amount of money that can be earned, nothing can take the same feelings of being able to, maybe not winning is okay, it's also addictive, but you can win even being a coach. But for me, the biggest amount of emotions was when I was racing, competing against, and the good race, even if I lost, was more important than when I won a poor tactical or not interesting race. So I think, yeah, business is quite okay, but it's not on the same level. It's always, you know, sticking the patches on the wounds that cannot be healed without time.
Okay. And how did you or why did you decide to go into strength and conditioning and not becoming a skating coach?
Actually, right after retiring, I was hired in my home club as a short track speed skating coach. So I was doing actually both of the stuff. I was doing some strength and conditioning for higher level athletes, like speed skaters, short track speed skaters. But I was also doing like really baby step training for younger short track speed skaters, which was based on, you know, trying to figure out the best way for them to utilize techniques, start skating and everything. So it was actually, for me, it was a hybrid moment. Fortunately, the club manager, the director of the school that is also connected to the club, said, okay, you're going to be here. So I had a place to still be in a discipline, to still think that it's the same as skating, but it's not, and still learn to be a better strength coach. So I think I had enough practice to be a short track speed skating coach, but not enough to be a really good strength coach. So those were the steps. First was my career, then was the part where I was somewhat strength coach, but more of a short track speed skating coach for 4 years. And after that, I just moved on and opened my own place in Warsaw, and then be a full-time strength and conditioning coach and personal trainer.
Well, you're running your own facility?
I was for 2 years now. Because of some business-related issues, I had to close the place, and now I'm a freelancer. I work at a normal gym, which is focused mainly on personal training, but I also work with the same athletes because it's not full-time job. They come over, do a consult, and then they go again and do their job on either national team camps or back home.
Okay, cool. What was your best moment?
Best moment, I think, was actually best would be Olympics, because what I found was that I wasn't counted on to go to the Olympics, especially because we had a situation where before 2010, we had a really good guys that were skating sprints, so 500 meters. They were really good, like regular top 10 in the World Cups, which would mean that they will easily go to the Olympics and have, it was counted on that they will have 2 places at the Olympics. But unfortunately, during the qualifiers in the World Cups, they both didn't do that well. So we found out that we have only 1 place. And in short track, it's like that the place is given for the country, not for a name of a skater, not for a particular skater. So we still had our internal qualifications. And then the last part was European Championships right before going to the Olympics in Dresden. So I was told that I need to beat the other guy by 10 places, at least 10 places on each distance. So I thought, okay, let's do it. Then I thought it's already hard that I'm here and it's very successful. But I said, okay, I want to go to the Olympics and nothing else matters. So actually, I was better than the other guy on each distance by 10 places, even in the overall. And I was given the card to go to the Olympics. But the problem, which gave me even more boost in motivation, was the fact that when I came to the Polish Olympic Committee, I wasn't even listed in a place where you give names of potential goers to the Olympics. I wasn't even on there, and there were like 6 people from male and female skaters. So I had to wait to get the accreditation on the place in Vancouver. There were many issues with me not being in the people that were supposed to go to the Olympics. But that was actually the best moment because, okay, nobody counted on me, but I counted on myself and I delivered when it really mattered.
What did you learn from that moment and how has it influenced your life?
I think I finally approved myself that I'm a fighter, and no matter what happens, I still have, even though I'm not as physically gifted as other skaters, my technique is maybe not the best, but what I have, and it's my biggest asset, is the hard working and not giving up. Like relentlessness is really big asset of mine. So it's been, I think this approved and gave me more confidence in believing that hard work, even if all the odds are against you, is the way to go. If you're not gonna, I always thought myself, okay, I just want to have a medal at the Olympics. I don't care anything about else. I just want a medal. And now I see it. Okay, if I didn't believe I would get the medal, I wouldn't go to the Olympics. So always aim highest. If you fall a little bit lower, it's still gonna be okay. So I aim higher than I could really deliver, but it was enough for me to get to the Olympics. So yeah, I think never giving up and hard work is what the best and worst moment gave me.
What advice would you give your younger you? So if you could travel back in time 10, 15, 20 years, what would you say to a younger Jakub?
First of all, no matter what you do, you'll always regret that you finish skating, no matter what you do, because now I see, okay, it's okay that I gave everything I had, because if I didn't give everything I had when I was younger, I would probably think of myself, okay, it was so short, those 20 years, it was so short time, and you didn't give all of you had, you should give more. But I know I gave everything, so I would say focus on what you do as much as you can, but also take some rest. Now, if I see, I would plan some moments, like 6 months, like 3 months, like 4 months, to get the time off from short track speed skating like 100%. I think this would give me a better perspective from the outside, like a zoom out to see what my problems are, and that I can have more willpower to focus on improving them. So I think, yeah, taking a rest sometime, like 2-3 times in my career, that would be, maybe thanks to those breaks, I would be skating for some longer time.
So that means you have been too much detached with the sport to see what's going on?
Yes, I think attachment, yeah, for sure. I was really afraid that every moment that I lose in the sport, if I take 6 months, 3-month break, would derail my career or make me behind the other guys. Like I would lose so much, I won't be able to improve. But from psychological standpoint, from sanity standpoint, I think it would be good to take some parts of my career off, and I think those 3-6 months would help me skate not until my 28th year, but probably 30 or 32.
What are the habits that make you a successful person and athlete?
I think hard work. Hard work, like work ethic and hard working, were the main things that I did good when I was a skater. So I would outwork everyone. I wasn't the fastest guy, but I was the guy that was doing the most work on and off the ice, especially from my team, because I actually could compare myself only to the other guys that were in my team. So yeah, I know that at least when I came back home from the day of training, I knew that I left everything when it was needed.
Is that something you give on to your athletes as well?
I believe that my role is not to motivate. If you don't have internal motivation, then you need to find, maybe it's not something for you, because the real motivation that can help you stay for such a long time in one place is only the love for the sport or for what you do. Motivation is, it can come and go. Like, for example, you only can have so much willpower motivation until everything happens for you, which is bad. But if you love the sport, if you love competing, if you love everything that goes around it, then it's not a matter of motivation. You still love it when it's bad, and you still love it even more when it's really good. But motivation goes down when it's bad. Really, it's like really going down. And for example, it may be so down that you're going to finish skating, or you're going to do something else, or not be inside of it. So I think it's hard to tell someone that this sport is really interesting and competing is the best thing you can do, because it's going to be different between people. Like, for example, there are people who like playing pool with snooker and everything, which is quite different with comparing to short track. So if you love what you do, you have enough motivation and love for the sport, so you're going to stick to it. So the role of me as a strength coach wasn't to or a coach in speed skating wasn't exactly to motivate. I think an already motivated person is the person you should be working with.
I can see that. Yeah, I see that. What did you do as an athlete when motivation was low for yourself?
There was only one moment, and it was at the end of my career. I was fed up with, I saw that at the end of my career, that I'm losing motivation, because I know that some things are already unattainable for me. I won't be a world medalist. I won't be going somewhere else. I won't be doing this. I won't be skating. I will never skate 7.9, 8.0, 8.1 for one lap. And this is where everything disappeared. I don't think that love for the sport went away, because I still loved it, but I found myself in a way that I couldn't go and I couldn't improve anymore. So yeah, motivation is. I don't think motivation depends on the love. So I had a lot of motivation because I had a lot of love for the sport.
Cool. I remember I saw once in an interview, it's long ago, I'm an avid tennis fan, and Steffi Graf, the German tennis player, she retired, and in the interview a few weeks later she said it was the first time she woke up and she thought like she doesn't want to play tennis, and then she waited one day, and the next day again she woke up and she felt like not playing tennis, and then she said, okay, that's it. So for all her career she hasn't had the feeling of not being motivated or not wanting to play tennis. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I feel her. I feel everything that she said, and that's actually I also heard something different. It's like when you have 3 days in a row and you're sure you don't want to do what you're doing now, this is the moment that you can go. So until the first day that you still love it, like for example you're doing short track, and until the first day you still have a good training, you wait with the decision of finishing your career. So actually when you have bad days, you don't decide, okay, going back here or forth. When it's a good day, try to decide then if you're finishing the sport. I'm sure that no one will finish their careers on a good day, and if they do, it's really because of some factors that cannot be changed. So yeah, maybe this is also going back to the question you asked. What I would tell my younger self is to wait with the decision for the first day when you're skating good.
Do you have a morning routine?
Routine is something that would be done every day, but I do it so often, not every day, but really often. After waking up, I drink lime juice with water and some salt. And after that, either I walk my dog, which is a form of meditation, or I meditate. So this is my routine. And after that, I'm doing all my other stuff.
How long does it take, the meditation?
Oh, it depends. The walk is 10 minutes with the dog, but sometimes when I use the app for the meditation, it's between 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Did you do that as an athlete as well?
When I was a junior doing my best results, so it was 2006, I was working with psychologists for a while, and she showed me relaxation and meditation stuff, and also visualization things, and it helped me greatly, and it lasted for the whole career after I did it. So yes, I did it when I was an athlete.
Okay. How do you prepare for important moments?
Yeah, so when I think about the years when I was a speed skater, the bigger the event I had to participate in, the more relaxed I was. So when it was, for example, Olympics, and I had only one race at the Olympics, so it was a big stress and everything, there was no other races I was so relaxed than I was at the Olympics. It was the most relaxed, most fun race I ever had. And sometimes I compare it to the races I had on Polish championships or in Polish Cup, even lower in the hierarchy of races. I was really stressed. So I think it goes with the fear of losing and the will of winning. So I was more afraid of losing when I was at the lower level competitions because I had nothing to lose when I was at the Olympics. So then I flourished. I was confident. Maybe the races weren't the best, but at least I had the biggest fan with the biggest events. So I think it's somewhere in me that, the bigger the event, I am less stressed. But now when I'm doing, for example, some courses, which was last week, my first course for almost 30 people, which was connected to the strength and conditioning world, I was nervous. And the thing I learned from TED Talk and the book of Amy Cuddy. I don't know the name of it in English, but she's a psychologist who checks your hormonal changes and on the base of your posture.
Yeah.
So her way of disappearing stress before important meetings or talks is to get a power pose. Either is it by putting your hands on your thighs or on your hips or spreading your arms to the side. It was shown that it increases testosterone and improves your visuality. Yeah. So it helps me a lot, especially when I'm doing something that I'm not accustomed with, like having 30 people listen to you and what you did for not 20 but maybe only 5 years before. It helped a lot. So I do it now very often before everything that I know might be stressful.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the most successful TED Talks from her. It's an interesting one. And I think her book is called Presence, but I'm not sure whether she has...
Okay, in Polish it's Stand Up. In Polish it's Stand Up, and it's a really good book, but the TED Talk is terrific.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it myself. It's really cool. How do you overcome setbacks?
I think of them as a normal way of getting to the place I want to be. Like there will be always setbacks, and I think that I can learn more from failures or setbacks than I can learn from winnings. Because winning, it's only being first place, and actually it's only tells you what you did good. Or it tells you what the other people did worse than you. So it gives you much less information than a setback or a failure. So I think that failures and how I deal with them is I think of them as the best signs of development. They show you the most important information of where you are and where you want to go. So this is the one way I deal with setbacks. I don't think of them as setbacks. I think of them as a road signs of how am I doing.
Interesting. There's also that famous quote from John Wooden, basketball coach. He said what you just said: you either succeed or you learn.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also a rule that I try to tell my athletes all the time, and I think it helps a lot. It helps a lot everyone that is trying to become good at what he does.
Just to dig deeper into that, for sure there must be some form of disappointment, some emotion or feeling of disappointment. So how long does it take for you to turn that feeling around into something positive?
Before I found that you shouldn't expect too much from other people, you can only expect something from yourself. This helped me a lot. Yeah, I was a guy that expected a lot from others, like from other athletes, from other people. I was thinking that, okay, it should be natural for the other person to think or act the way as I think should be normal, but they don't do it. Then this gave me a lot of disappointment. So it's again a technique that is similar to the technique with the setbacks. You don't act after it happens, you should act before it happens. So if you change your point of view about, expecting, I could also expect something from others, and then I would have to deal with the failed expectations. So I think it's better to think of the problem before and dissipate the way of the occurrence of the problem by thinking, okay, it's my problem, I shouldn't just expect of the others. I should if something happens that I don't think the person could do, then it happens. I'm not having any expectations. It's the same situation, it's the same technique, but on the different stuff as the roadblocks that you don't think of as roadblocks, but as a signs. So yeah, there are many setbacks, but if you take knowledge of why they happened, and if it's purely the external setback, or is it because of my way of thinking setback, then you can work on it. And usually it lasts for, I don't know, a week or two or one day. It depends on the way how we perceive it, or how I perceive it.
Who's your role model and why?
When I was a skater, the first competition that I watched was 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. So there I found my young time idol, which I really admired his way of, maybe not way of skating, but the way he surpassed and tried to fight with his not sprintish techniques, because he was the guy that was supposed to win. Marc Gagnon, he's a Canadian skater, an Olympic champion, a really good guy from Canada back in the past. So he was supposed to win everything from 1500 to 1000 meters, so 2 or 3 distances at the Olympics, but he couldn't manage anything. So last distance that he could skate in was 500 meters, which he got to the final, which was already a surprise. And then on the race, he got a gold medal. The second place was Jonathan Guillemette, the second Canadian, but who has been a better sprinter than Marc Gagnon, I think. So Marc Gagnon for a long time was my idol because of the way he showed that you can still be successful if you don't fix your mind on the disciplines you're skating. Like, okay, in the short track, it's not so different skating between, you still need to be a good skater, but a sprinter will always be better on the 500 meters than someone who is mixed type and can skate 1500. So he showed me that you can fight even though you're not a sprinter, and you can fight on 500 meters. So this is the role model from back when I was skating. But now, considering that I'm still in strength and conditioning, there is one guy who I look up to a lot. It's Wolfgang Unsold from Stuttgart in Germany. He's also a strength coach. And I admire his ability of analytical thinking. He he can all the problems he has, or the aspects of the work he does, he can cut into small pieces and divide them on the parts that are really important to achieve your goal. So whatever goal in strength and conditioning or strength acquiring is that you're having can be moved into levels to the basic layer, and that's how he acquires problems. So professionally, he's the guy that I look up to.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've met him years ago at a conference. He knows his stuff.
Yes, very much.
What's the best advice you received and who gave it to you?
I think the best advice was when I still didn't know who I want to be after I finished retiring. I was doing some consults with Yves Nadeau. He was a coach, the most medal coach in history in short track speed skating. He had almost 200 medals in different world championships or Olympics with his skaters in Canada. So I did some consults with him, talking about different stuff from energy systems training to speed skating technique to yearly planning to acquiring proper technique to the long-term development of younger athletes. But there were small gems of his way of thinking that really helped me. So what I didn't know and what helped me a lot was in my work and in my skating as well, was that you can win a race and still feel that it was really bad, and you can win a bad race and you can lose the best race, which means that even if you're first on the podium, the way you acquired the win and the way you got there is really, really bad. Like you made all the mistakes you did. Maybe someone fell down. Maybe someone got disqualified and everything. So being on a podium doesn't mean anything if it was done just by covering your mistakes. But for example, if you were fourth, but you did something you never did, you overpassed someone on the way you never did, so you improved somehow, but you weren't on the first place on the podium, can be a great, terrific race. So I think this is great for speed skaters or any athlete that can focus on quality of work and focus on improving their weak spots. But it's also something important in later life when I have it now. Because I don't have results of recognition in social media or whatever, or recognition through different associations, because maybe I'm working with their athletes, doesn't mean that I'm a bad coach. I can be unrecognizable. I can be doing best job I can do because I'm improving. So it's a matter of time until you get to the place, and the journey is more important than getting on the first place spot.
So if I would challenge you, becoming Olympic champion with a suboptimal race or becoming fourth with a perfect race, what would you pick?
That's a tough question.
I know.
Yeah, that's a tough question. If I would choose, for sure, first place.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, because but the question is, how am I supposed to get to the final race? And if for example, now this may be better answer, not giving any negative thoughts to Stephen Bradbury. You know the guy. He's a gold medalist from Australia.
I've sent him interview requests. He hasn't responded yet. I'd love to talk to him.
So he is an Olympic gold medalist. I would love to be an Olympic gold medalist, but if I would, I'm not saying that I wouldn't like to be in his position. He had really bad luck in his career, but he also had, during one day, a lot of luck. But he did it. He crossed the line first. But I don't know if I wouldn't be more happy by working my ass off for the fourth place and knowing that, okay, maybe fourth place, there's no difference between the first place and fourth place, just that the daily condition, like the form of the day, maybe the difference. But I know that because of my hard work, I was good enough to be fourth, and I worked my ass off it to get there. So yes, it's great. It would be great to get the gold medal, but from long-term position, how long would it take for me to really be enough good skater to get there with my own abilities. And acquiring those abilities would be on improving what I don't have. So if I would have only one technique and I would only overpass someone from the outside for my whole career, all the other skaters would know it and they would block me, so I wouldn't be able to finish first. But if I try different stuff and along the way I make mistakes and I can get better on those mistakes, maybe then I will have enough abilities during the race to go and get first, second, or third place podium.
How does a typical training day look like, or how did it look when you were a professional, active athlete?
After waking up, there was a breakfast, and most of the days there were 2 trainings a day. It either was ice in the morning, which lasted for 2 hours or 2.5, with the warm-ups, the cool-downs, the stretching and everything. But on the ice, we had between 1.5 to 2 hours. After that, we had some time off, which was recovery or school, food, napping, of course. And then there was a second training, which could consist of anything between technical belt work or strength training or another ice session. So most of my career, it was 2 trainings a day. Wednesday afternoon was off, and Saturday afternoon and Sunday was off. Most of the time it was like that.
What time did you get up?
Oh, it's different. It was different when I was younger and we had the ice session at 7. I had to be up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. When you are in a national team, you get more luxurious ice times. So sometimes it was 9 a.m. So we had to be on the warm up at 8. So I would have to get up at 6. Sometimes later, but I think that a training later than 9 is starting the training later at 9 is not optimal, because then you have to do the second training really later during the day, and it's less time to get recovered before going to bed.
Do you want to nominate someone to be interviewed?
Yes, of course. I wouldn't lose a chance of nominating someone. I think one of my athletes, she's still skating, would be a great story for you to hear. She's a speed skater that I had the opportunity to train, and I'm still training her as a strength coach. Her name is Natalia Czerwonka. She is a double Olympic medalist. She's a world champion medalist in speed skating team pursuit. But the story of her is not because she's successful in what she does, but because of the challenges that were put upon her. She's a skater that 6 years ago, during bike training, has hit a tractor standing on the side of the road. She had broken ribs, broken arms, broken spine, and she overcame this terrible injury, and she came back stronger than she was before. So I think she's a great success story. She's a great person to pick her mind about the way she thinks about the other stuff. And now she's also starting to work with younger children by starting her own academy in Poland. So not only she's a great athlete with great way of thinking, but also she spreads it to the younger athletes that maybe will be good enough to stand on the podium for Poland.
Oh, that's really cool. So she's giving back. That's nice.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Mostly social media would be the best. So I'm on Instagram. My nick is JAWORSHTR. So it's Javor SHTR. Or on Facebook, my fan page of my strength and conditioning business is Falcon Strength Training Institute.
Okay. Cool. We'll link that up.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for your time. That was great.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Great spent time. Thank you very much for invitation.
Thanks a lot.